Okay. So, good morning, everyone. So again, to divide the meditation session into two parts. First part, focusing the mind using the breath. And the second part, analytical meditation around the subject of death. And we're getting into this subject now in text. So appropriate, maybe always appropriate to meditate on death, in general anyway. Often said, good first thing, think about this, you know. So then firstly, the session, we spend some time focusing the mind and just drawing on a method that you already have to do this. If you already have a method, and if you don't have a method, one method can be used is to generate an awareness of the sensation of the breath as it comes in through the nostrils and passes back out again. And as best as possible to try to sit with an awareness of the sensation of the air coming in and going back out again. And then while doing this, as the different distractions arise, just to note these. And that can be, in terms of the distractions of thoughts, memories arising from the past, plans, maybe appearing in the mind. Sounds occurring, arising in the room or outside. And when each of these events occurs, not get caught up in. It may be helpful even to label memory, plan, thought, anger, whatever, like the sound, just to label it so you're aware. That helps to be aware of the arisal of it coming into the mind. And in so doing, not get caught up in the story, but to bring the mind back to the breath. And so then, just to continue like this for the first part of the meditation session. If your mind has already wandered away, just to remember to bring it back again to the breath. So then, now to engage in the main body of the meditation session, meditation on death. And here it is meditating on asking the question, what helps at the time of death? Our possessions and wealth help us. Will our friends help us? Will our body help us? And will, like the power and fame, reputation, praise, engaged in this life, will this help us at the time of death? So then firstly, to ask the question, will our wealth help us at the time of death, wealth and possessions, and also all the effort we've put in to accumulate this, or the actions we've performed in order to accumulate this, will they help us at the time of death? And perhaps we can think about how it is in the case we use our imagination, and perhaps we know of cases of people who have actually been very wealthy and have accumulated many possessions. And then, if it's observed over a period of time, perhaps as they've got not just at the death time, but as their old age is taking over their life and the effects of old age and the capacity to be able to function. And then death coming on, then will the wealth help them during this time? So then it's certainly true, if they have wealth, they may be able to get people around them to support them physically in different ways. But if they haven't done something to change their mind, and if their focus has been on wealth as support, as their refuge, and they've engaged in negative actions in order to accumulate that wealth, then as they approach old age and death is imminent, so then how helpful is this going to be? So just imagine how it is if a person, and some people do that, the whole focus is their security through accumulation of wealth, money, possessions. And as they're approaching old age, they're less able to function, more and more dependent on other people. And money becomes less and less relevant. They've used money in a way to give them security, to give them power. But with the onset of age, money isn't going to be able to reverse that process of aging and the loss of power in their life. And then fear arises because they're not able to secure their life. Fear and anger and resentment and sadness. Because all they've worked for is now irrelevant. And just to draw to mind, in the corner of your mind, to imagine one of the lamas who's dedicated their life towards the welfare of others, to letting go of possessions. And they may be living in abject poverty, they may be dying in a cave. They look over their life and see how they've used their life in a beneficial way. And you know they've used their life well. There isn't fear about what might happen at the time of death. They can have peaceful death no matter how poor their circumstances are as they die. And then if this person who's dying, actually dying, the person who's used their life just to accumulate wealth, as the death actually approaches and they know they're dying, how relevant are all those possessions? How relevant the land that they own, or the shares, or the money, or the possession of the houses? How relevant is it for them to have a peaceful mind at this critical juncture of their life? And so then for ourselves also, when our death time comes, it hasn't helped anyone else in the past. Well, will help us when we die. We have to separate from all these things, the possessions, the houses, the money, the shares, all the accumulated phenomena. And they all become irrelevant at the time of death. So next to ask the question, are our friends going to help us at the death time? And so maybe if you look back over your life, earlier time perhaps, it was very important to be seen with the right people, to be with the cool people, or whatever else. We were measured on who we relate to, who our friends were, the in group as opposed to the out group. So very important to have a connection with particular groups of people who gave us a certain status. So just think about that, where at the time in your life where you've done that, it's so important, the friends that you had. But as cool as those people might be, and the identity that you got from that time, very important to the impression you formed based, other people formed of you, based on who you had as friends. As cool as those people may be, can any of those people help us at this time? And there may be points in our life also where we sort out we must have a particular partner. We can't function without someone. Always looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend. Always looking for that special person. Can't even be doing that by old age. A special person who I can share my life with. But even if you find that special person after all the years, the death time has to come and we have to separate from that person. And the stronger the attachment we have to that person, the more painful it is to experience that which was always inevitable, separation from another person who can't help us at the time of death anyway. So even now in our life, if we're looking for someone to be a partner, it's not to say not to do that, but how important is it really to find that special person when we're going to separate from them anyway? And all that emotional upheaval that can take place in the life with that person. And yet, in the end, we have to separate from them. And also, even in the present time, it may be very important. We have a tendency, perhaps, to seek out many friends, have a large social network, secure ourselves with many people in our lives, an active social life, many different friends. And nothing's wrong with that. But if you form strong attachments to those people, if that's what the source of your happiness is, then death means you're going to separate from all these people. And you'll be faced with a lot of sadness about that separation, which was always inevitable. So as they say, we come to this world alone. Our consciousness is projected from the past life and entered into the sperm over the parents of this life. Went through the process in the womb, then took birth. And at the end of this life also, we separate alone. We have to separate from all fragments of this life. And as close as we are to a friend, our mind is not the same as them. And our death, as we experience for ourselves, that consciousness separates from our body at that time. It's unique to us. The other person can't come with us. So then in this way, also, if we really think about it, rather than being unhappy about not having friends or whatever forever, feeling lonely, being aware that no matter if we find that special person or people, a group of people, our friends, the company, inevitably we have to separate from them anyway. And then to ask the question, Will our body help us at the time of death? So it may be the case that you use our life very much focused on seeing the body, becoming almost like a slave to the body. So important, our appearance, our physical appearance. And identifying ourselves by our appearance. Reassuring ourselves by looking in the mirror. Do I look okay? And so many people dedicate their life to the appearance of the body. They like other people to see their body, try to build their body up. All effort put into, for the muscles to appear, be impressive. To walk around without a shirt so people can see their body. And often many people then, they spend their time also decorating, ornamenting it, and then have plastic surgery done to maintain the appearance of this body. But the reality is it's impermanent in nature and constantly deteriorating. All the systems within this body are in the process of deterioration. Some people venerate the body. There's nothing there to venerate. Of course, it's a working basis for internal development, but in and of itself, there's nothing there to venerate, to hold, to be holy or special, or to feel proud about. And it's when we approach death, the approaching death, it's the body that lets us down. Say, the body gives up the ghost. The body loses its capacity to be able to support our consciousness. We approach death with the body deteriorating in normal circumstances of death. The body loses its capacity to function. So it doesn't make sense to become a slave of our body. And then we may have used our life building up solves our reputation. So important to have a good reputation, to be famous, to be renowned, to have power, to receive praise. Yet all of this that we've built up, our own personal empire, we've built up. This also can't help at the time of death.
I see.
Not working.
I'm a little bit sad.